Not the end of The Last of Us for Naughty Dog, he says. Well, we have news. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And after 3 months, I am back for another video discussing The Last of Us Part 3. So since I uploaded my last video 3 months ago, that was around the time The Last of Us Season 2 ended, there hasn't really been much in regards to The Last of Us Naughty Dog, which is why you've seen a dip in terms of my uploads and my coverage, because there really hasn't been much in regards to that. But things change very fast. So the Emmys were just this past Sunday, and before them, Neil Druckmann was interviewed, and he said a lot, once again, on the future of not just Naughty Dog, but The Last of Us. As we know, this has been a back and forth, flip-flop type game where Neil will be one minute, he'll be like, you know, we're thinking about making Last of Us Part 3. The next minute, you know, I don't know, The Last of Us might be done. This might be it. We got kind of an idea of how they came to be with Intergalactic, Heretic Prophet, how far along a Part 3 potentially could be. Were there even discussions to start with that? And Neil has also talked about the future again. And it seems very, very positive. Like the last video we talked about, an interview where Neil had said he's the caretaker, it's his responsibility. If he wants to make more, it's got to be high quality, it's got to meet a certain bar. But he said he loves the characters, he loved the world, and heck, if another opportunity presented itself, he would take it and go for it. As we all know, behind the scenes, that opportunity has likely already been started. We have 3 games coming from Naughty Dog. We have Intergalactic, Heretic Prophet, which should be getting some news pretty soon. We'll talk about that in a video probably this weekend. 2, an unannounced game directed by Sean Eskag that Neil is the producer on. Likely going to be something either in Uncharted related or a brand new IP again. And we have a 3rd game, which I believe is The Last of Us Part 3. Alright guys, we're going to talk about this article and go through some of the latest new stuff in regards to a potential Last of Us Part 3. So make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe for more content covering The Last of Us / Naughty Dog. If we go for 3,000 likes on this video, I greatly would appreciate it. If you guys do subscribe and join over the 30% of you are subscribing, the subscribe button, notification bell, have it set to all, and join over the 102,000 people that have ownership around for the channel so you don't miss any of my content. You can follow us on social media down below, Discord, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that. Just want to say, guys, I'll also be starting my Twitch channel up again. It's been 7 years. So please go follow me on Twitch. I am starting on Friday, 1 week prior to The Last of Us Day. Streams on my Twitch. So please make sure you go follow me there. I will be streaming a lot. There's supposed to be a new PlayStation State of Play. Ghost Yote's coming out. I'm going to be streaming a lot of games there. So make sure you go follow me. I'm not leaving YouTube, but we'll be expanding. Alright, let's get straight into it. So, next Friday, The Last of Us Day 2025. As we all know, I will be doing stuff leading up to its release. We're going to be streaming daily starting Friday up until The Last of Us Day. And the next Friday, September 26th, I will be streaming The Last of Us Day. Any announcements or anything? Do I believe a Part 3 surprise teaser reveal? It's very unlikely, but we could get a tease. It's always possible. I think it's just going to be more merch, but I just want to put the prefaces. I just want to tell everybody, hey, that's coming up. So I'll link the streams down below where you can check out those Last of Us Day shenanigans. But again, next Friday, September 26th, keep an eye open for that. And we'll be making a video later in the week anyway on Last of Us Day, so it's just not why I'm going that much into it. So, the article from Variety, Neil Druckmann on leaving The Last of Us, his new game, Intergalactic, and how involved he'll be on Season 3. My job is to stay very high level. So, we have this data. People have watched the show and have come back and bought a PlayStation or bought it on PC and have played The Last of Us, and that has become this gateway for them. For this meme that I love so much, but it was really hard work, and I was really there in the weeds to get Season 1 off the ground, and then it was important to get Season 2 and the storyline for the game 2 off the ground as well, because I love that story so much. But now, I feel like the path has been set for it. It was time to go back to the thing that started it all, which is just full-time video game work, but other things are coming, and we can announce more things soon. So, just off the precipice, if you guys didn't know, Neil Druckmann, Hallie Gross, they left The Last of Us show. It's all in Craig Mazin's hand in HBO. We all know the show is going down a slide right now. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to recover from the disappointment of season 2. And it is unfortunate. I will give Craig a little hope, but after what I saw Craig pull off in season 2, my hope is little if none, which is probably why Neil and Hallie decided to leave. So, first thing of note here is that Neil, yes, he left to focus fully again on video games. As we all know, he is a producer on a brand new game at Naughty Dog. He is the director on Intergalactic, and if he's working on a part 3, which we do believe is happening, he is directing that game as well. So he needs to put all hands on deck and lock in to make sure that game hits the bar. All these games do. But other things are coming. We can announce more soon, and he's talking about video games here. So as we know, there's that unannounced game by Sean Eskag and eventually another game. So, eventually, you know, he's already teasing that, yes, more is coming. So, at what point during the last of season's process, if it was during publicity or when exactly, did you decide that you were going to step away and come back to Naughty Dog full time? It was right when we were about to start the writer's room for season 3. I looked at what's in front of me. What would the next season might look like? And with all the various Last of Us things I'm working on, not just the show. Again, this what could this possibly be? Mainly focused on games. Now, it could be other kind of things. Maybe The Last of Us being incorporated into something else. I don't know exactly, but listen, you've already done the TV route. It seems like Neil's done with that. We could be getting spin-off games, guys. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. You know, when just the way he's wording this, it just makes me think this is much more than a part 3. We could be getting a lot. Which, again, why I told you all a couple years ago when Neil was like, oh, this might be it for The Last of Us. He was lying. Can't you tell? The biggest one that takes up most of my time is Intergalactic, Heretic Prophet, our next big IP for Naughty Dog and PlayStation. Felt like I could better serve all my responsibilities if I stayed at a higher level. It was quite challenging to be involved as a co-showrunner on Season 1 and Season 2, while running a studio and working and directing and writing a game. I really appreciated Naughty Dog, how many people stepped up while I was gone on working on Season 2. Spent quite a bit of effort on episode 206, prepping it, writing it, directing. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it again, so I felt it around the period when we were wrapping up all the press and really about to get started with earnest season 3. That wasn't a good time to reassess everything. I like this quote. But my first responsibility, my first love is video games, and it's at Naughty Dog, which, yes, as I've said, we've had enough show. It's time for games. It's been 5 years without a brand new title, so we need to get some video games, yes. He talked a bit about Season 3, and he said, my hope for Season 3 and what I'd like to think I can best contribute to it is to make sure it's as deeply faithful as Season 1 was. Because I feel like that is the gold standard for this kind of adaptation, while enjoying all these beautiful expansions that happen naturally with the rest of the team and how they're working on Season 3. That is where my involvement will stay, is at a very, very high level. But as we know, Neil's pretty much given Craig the keys, and we all know what that's going to probably mean for the show. I mean, it was already kind of going down that path, so Neil made the best decision, in my personal opinion, for not just his sake, but the company's sake. Okay, so someone asked, Uncharted has been adapted. Obviously, The Last of Us has been adapted. Are you in talks for adapting Intergalactic for TV or film now? Because this would be the first time that you're in a position to try and plan for both the game and the adaptation from the beginning. There's just ongoing conversation around Uncharted, The Last of Us, and now Intergalactic as far as different adaptations or expansions. With The Last of Us, we did a graphic novel. For a while, we were working on a movie that didn't work out and it became a TV show. But then he said again, and there's more stuff happening in The Last of Us world that has not been announced. Maybe there's gonna be a spinoff. I don't know at this point, like a show. I don't know if he's talking about just games and all that. But we already have studios approaches about Intergalactic. Just having seen the trailer, they don't know much about the game. Intergalactic was announced as a new franchise. Does that mean that Naughty Dog's focus moving forward is on additional Intergalactic games after Heretic Prophet? Or is there a chance you do The Last of Us 3 or a new Uncharted game next? So, we don't tend to plan too much in the future because we find, and this is something I inherited, it's just the Naughty Dog culture, that we do our best work when it's something we're really excited about, really passionate about. Just to give you an example. When we finished The Last of Us Part 2, and that was highly successful for us, we were debating whether we should just go straight into The Last of Us 3. So, this is a little surprise, guys. They were already talking about a potential Part 3, which we kind of already knew, but, you know, Neil was already, like, just see, the fact that he even said this is pretty substantial to me. So they were working on a, you know, we were debating to go straight into The Last of Us Part 3. And they were debating it, according to what he said, for a really long period where we looked at ideas for maybe what that could be in that game. We looked at what we have in Uncharted as an IP. We have Jack and Dexter as an IP, but the team was really excited to do this sci-fi thing that we've been talking about for a while, and that's where our passions lie. So that's where we're moving forward. He said not to be coy for this particular reason. We want to see how we feel once we're done with it and look at the options in front of us, because we have some other ideas that we'd like to explore as well. If he's in meaning Part 3, a new Uncharted, other games, we'll have to see. But he basically kind of said, yeah, if Intergalactic is successful, it will get a new game. Again, we'll talk about this more in the Intergalactic video. I don't want to really ramble on with that. But with the show, my hope is that we're going to end this story in a deeply faithful way, in the same way that we started, and that'll be the end for this version of the story. And again, note the word "this version." Just the wording he says it gives me, yes, we're gonna get another game. He said, but that's not the end of The Last of Us for Naughty Dog. That doesn't mean necessarily that's going to happen indoors or outdoors. We're in talks to do multiple things. Likewise, I'm sure Intergalactic will present an opportunity, so I'm sure I will wear multiple hats, like I have in the past. But my main responsibility for the foreseeable future, as long as they let me keep doing it, is to make games at Naughty Dog. Guys, this is about almost as obvious of a... I mean, come on. I mean, how much more obvious does he have to be? How many times in an interview you have to state, there's more Last of Us coming, there's more Last of Us coming, there's more... I mean, guys, the writing is on the wall. Part 3 is going to be happening for sure. I am 99% certain of it, because you never know, there's always that 1%, because look at what happened in the Last of Us multiplayer game. I mean, people think this might mean, whoa, Dom, maybe they're bringing the multiplayer game back. No, that game's dead in the water. Maybe they'll bring a mode for Part 3. That's what I'm hoping. That'd be nice. Another thing I think is very possible is a prequel or spin-off game. They've really hinted this for a long time. There was a thing with Tommy, remember, in the Grounded documentary where Neil mentioned that there was a story with Tommy that they never got to do it. And filling out the show did not reach its full potential. Kind of flopped. I feel like they're going to use that Tommy story and now do it in the games instead of the show. Unless we also get prequels, you know. Well, at 20 years with Tommy and Joel, pre-apocalypse, that'd be ideal, or other, you know, spin-offs in the Last of Us world. Very, very possible. Guys, right now, Intergalactic is the main focus, but the writing is on the wall. I don't think we're that far off, guys. I really am starting to have some faith that in the next year or two, we could eventually get that reveal that we have been waiting over half a decade for already. So, guys, what do you think of what Neil Druckmann said here? As I've said, everything keeps getting more and more positive. The more interviews he's doing, the more conversations he's having around The Last of Us. Instead of this, oh, I don't think there'll be any more Last of Us, or don't bet on it. Now it's all been like, yes, there's more Last of Us. We'll announce more soon. Like, this is exactly what I've been telling everybody. This is how Neil Druckmann is. He's fooled y'all, especially the people that thought nothing was going to happen. He's fooled y'all for a couple years now. But listen, we've been through this game before with him. So the cycle will repeat. Alright, guys, what would you like to see next in the world of The Last of Us? I want a Part 3, but a spin-off game as well would be nice. Let me know what you think of this down below. I'll link this down in the description. You guys can also check this out. Go follow me on social media down below. Stay connected with us. And I'll see you guys Friday for my stream for The Last of Us Day. Getting ready for it. I'll play through Part 1 and Part 2. And I'll be streaming on my Twitch as well. Starting that up. So if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more content covering The Last of Us. Go for 3,000 likes on this video again. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Peace and love, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.